Hi folks, today I'm going to be checking the fuel filter in my 2001 Isuzu Rodeo, and I will replace the filter if it seems like it needs it. I actually replaced this fuel filter about a year ago. It's only got about maybe 8,000 miles on it, but I've been having ongoing issues with this vehicle. It just seems to be driving sluggish at times, and I've replaced a lot of components, and it's running better, but it's still not running the way I think it should. So I'm going to pop the fuel filter off today, check it, see if it's got restricted flow, and if it is, then I'm going to put a new one in. If not, then I guess I'll button it back up and keep on searching for the root of my problems. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to want to do is relieve the fuel pressure in the fuel lines. So to do that, we need to start the vehicle, and then over here on the passenger side, right beside the battery, there's a fuse box. And if you'll look here, there's a list of what the fuses are, and there's your fuel pump fuse. We need to open this box up. There's simply a little tab here that you push like that and take the lid off like that. Set it off to the side. And let's see, it's the third fuse down from the top on the left hand column. So there's a missing fuse there. 2, 3. It's that 20 amp that's upside down. So what we'll do is we'll start the vehicle, and then we'll come back over here with a pair of pliers, needle nose pliers, and we'll grab that 20 amp fuse like that and pull it out. And what that's going to do is kill power to the fuel pump. So the engine will essentially starve for fuel, use up what's left in the line, and relieve the pressure in the fuel line. That way we can break apart the fuel line and remove the filter. So I'm going to go ahead and start the engine now. Alright. Now we'll go back over here and we'll remove the fuel pump fuse. Once again, it's the third one down. This one right here. Pull it out carefully. And the engine dies because it uses up the fuel. Just to be safe, I'll turn it off and start it again. Well, it won't start, but I'll try to start it again. There we go. That should ensure us that we've used up any remaining fuel in the line. There's no pressure now. So our next step is going to be to crawl into the vehicle and remove the fuel filter itself, which is right here underneath the driver's side door. So let me grab my tools and get in position, and we'll move on to that. Okay, I'm in position now. Once again, we're on the driver's side of the vehicle, right here at the back edge of the front door. And as you can see, I've got the vehicle on ramps. It's not absolutely necessary, but it definitely makes it easier to get up underneath here, especially since I'm using a creeper. So I'm already up a couple inches off the ground. So this definitely helps. The rear wheels are just sitting on the ground. Just got the front elevated, which should give me just enough room. So anyway, let's go ahead and slide up under the vehicle now, and I'll show you where we're going to be working. So if you look at this cross member, which runs underneath the transmission, here's the transmission, here's the cross member right here. You see the fuel line? Sorry, let's try this again. See the fuel lines right here. You trace this back, you come to the silver canister right there. See if I can get it to focus. And that is our fuel filter, actually. So it's got a little clamp bracket that goes around it here with a nut and a bolt. And I believe this is a 10mm bolt on that clamp. Sorry, it's tough to give you a good view here, but right there, that should be a 10mm. And then, of course, it's got a hose clamp on this side and on this side. This one looks like it's been replaced. It's not the original clamp, but anyway, my plan is to loosen these hose clamps first while this bracket is still tight, just so it'll support it, keep things from moving around. And then once I've got the hose clamps loose, I'll try to pull the hoses off. What I'll probably do is take this front hose loose if I can get it, then remove the bracket, take the fuel filter out, and I may have to twist it a little bit to try to get it out of this hose back here, just because clearance is tough. You've got another cross member here on the frame and some wiring here that's kind of in the way. So I hope this will show up well on video, but that's what we're working with. So once again, let me try to loosen these hose clamps, and before I take the filter loose, I'll give you another shot. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got the hose clamps loose. See, I've got that one slid out of the way. Got this one slid out of the way. And I took a pair of channel locks and just gently grabbed this hose and twisted it. Now it seems like it's loose. So I can pull it off. But I did want to mention that obviously you are going to get some fuel coming out of these fuel lines, so you want to have something to catch it in. So I've got a basin here underneath me. And please just be very careful. You know, you're working with open fuel lines. You know, be smart. Don't be smoking a cigarette or have any open flames near here. Just be very safe. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to try to take this line loose here and let the fuel drip out, and then I will remove this bracket and try to get the hose off the back. So moving along, I'll check back in a second once I get some things loose. Alright, as you can see, I've got the discharge fuel line disconnected. You can see it's dripping into my catch pan. So I'm going to let it finish dripping, and then once again I'm going to undo this bracket with the 10mm bolt and try to spin the fuel line off this other hose, the inlet hose. So let me get it removed, and we'll see what the inside, well, we won't be able to see, but what I'm going to do is hook a clean piece of hose to the inlet side and try to blow through it and see if there's any resistance. So I will be right back. Alright, as you can see, I've got the bracket loose now, and you can see I also took a little 1/4" extension and used it to plug the discharge fuel line so it won't keep dripping. So what I'm going to have to do now is take one hand and hold the hose on the inlet side and use the other hand to kind of wiggle and spin the filter and pull on it this way, and it'll eventually come loose and I can slide it out of this bracket, and then we'll take a look and see if it seems like it's plugged up. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got the filter out of the vehicle now, and the first thing I noticed is here's the guts have totally come loose on the inside, so that's not a good sign. This definitely needs to be replaced. I don't know that it's really doing any filtration at this point, which concerns me, because the next thing I've done is, as you can see, I've put a piece of clean fuel line on the inlet side. You can see this arrow here pointing in this direction, showing you the flow. So I've put this hose on the inlet side, and if I blow through it, there's no resistance at all. So I don't think lack of fuel flow is my problem. What I'm concerned about is if this thing hasn't been filtering at all, who knows what could be causing a problem down the line. You know, it could have clogged fuel pressure regulator. It could have a clog in one of the fuel lines itself. The ejectors are pretty new. I replaced those about 8 months ago, but they could be clogged by now. So I'm a little concerned, but I guess I'll put the new filter in and see how it drives. But anyway, here's my new filter. As you can see, it's not rattling around like the old one. So we'll have to figure out which direction the flow is on this one. There we go, it says out right there. So that side obviously will face towards the engine. The other side faces towards the fuel tank. I'll probably write the date and mileage on this so that I'll know when it was installed. And then we can go ahead and reverse the process that we used to take it out. So let me let me get back under the vehicle and get ready to put this thing back.
Alright, I've got the new filter slid into position and pushed onto the inlet fuel hose here. Still need to make up the hose clamp connection. And I'm ready to reconnect the discharge hose. What I did was took a little bit of dielectric grease, just a tiny dab, and put it on the nipple on both ends of the filter. You don't want a lot, but that just helps the hose slide back on more easily than if it's dry. There's just not a lot of room to work here with your hand, so any advantage you can get will help. So that's what I did. So once again, I just need to reconnect the clamp, get the hose clamps back on, and then we will put the fuse back in for the fuel pump and start the vehicle and see how it runs. So let me get this button back up, and then we'll move on to starting the vehicle. Alright, I've got everything put back together now. Hose clamps are tight, brackets bolted together, so we're ready to go ahead and restart the vehicle. And then I'm going to get under here and check for leaks. So, stand up, go ahead and reinstall our fuel pump fuse here. Once again, it goes in the third space. Just push it back in. And now we should be able to start the vehicle. It'll probably take a second to prime the fuel line since we used all the fuel out of it. So we're just going to turn the key to the on position without actually starting the engine and give the fuel pump a second to prime. Alright, now I'm going to try to start it. There we go. Now I just want to get back under here, see if we have any leaks. I don't see anything. So I think we're in good shape. I think this project's done. So I'll have to see how the vehicle drives, and I'll try to report back. I'll put a note at the end of the video, see if it improved anything. But obviously the filter needed to be replaced anyway, so glad I checked this. And this is certainly something anybody can do in their driveway or the garage. So I hope this video will be helpful for you, and thanks for watching. See you next time.